Hi, I'm Barry Farber, and this is Pain for Gain, a show that looks at sacrifices today that has future pleasure. How we eat, how we move, how we think that changes our lives. This is part 2 with somebody very special, Dr. Kellyann, world-renowned on bone broth breakthroughs. She's been on every network, is going to join us shortly. Don't go away. Today's guest has helped millions, she has 2 million satisfied customers, rethink their relationship with food, health, and longevity. All right, now she's not only a best-selling author, but she's one of the country's leading voices on natural healing and metabolic wellness. Through her groundbreaking work on both bone broth, intermittent fasting, and cellular health, she has shown that true wellness often requires discipline, commitment, and sometimes sacrifice. And that's what it's all about. That's what Pain for Gain is. You sacrifice today for pleasure tomorrow. And you know what? Dr. Kellyann has been on PBS specials. She's been on every network, NBC, CBS, ABC, QVC, Fox, you name it. And I'm so excited to have her back for part 2. We have Dr. Kellyann. Thank you so much for coming back.
So
cheers
happy
again.
to be here. We got to
cheers
cheers
again.
I've been waiting to drink this, but
Yes.
I wanted everyone to see it nice and full. So
Yes.
there you go. Now I'm drinking it. You know, I'm really proud of this product. I wanted to say that this is so specially curated with only pasture-raised bones. It's got garden fresh vegetables, sea salt. That's it. Anyone who knows me knows that keeping it clean, keeping it natural is so important to me. You know, it's made in America. It's 2 million satisfied customers, as you said. This is really important to me because of all it does. And I want everyone to have the best.
Yeah.
That's what I've always wanted. I want everyone to experience the best health. We know now that health is so different, Barry. It's not about restriction. Dieting, it's about optimization. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I love bone broth so much is it's the best way to optimize your body. You just read through to me. You said, wow, bone broth does all this. And you read through a litany of things. Mm-hmm. That's all true.
So, you know, before we get into this, and your background and what I've learned about you is you're the real authentic deal. You live and you breathe and you walk the message, and that's what's important to me.
I do.
And I really appreciate that. And the one thing that we talked about on the last show is how your father influenced you with his barbershop and the way he did business. And there's nothing like being in there. You learn from being in the experience. What did your mom teach you? You said something special about the heart and
one simple thing. She had such coherence between her heart and what she said. And what that really comes out to be is kindness. My mother taught me the power of kindness. So when we think about health and nutrition, one important element that we always miss out is being kind to your body. Right. Being kind to other people, understanding, sitting down and talking to people for 30 years about what's going on in their life, because it starts out with food and it ends up going into different areas. You really need to make it a practice to be kind to yourself and to be kind to others. You never know the person before you what's happening in their life.
Right, what they're going through. That's your mother's message. Right?
So just remember, to me, health is all about life force. When I see all of these things happening in Hollywood, I look at where are they in life force? How much do I see walking across that stage or that screen? And if you are filled with life force, I know you're doing the right thing. And this thing, about, kindness and what my father taught me about doing the right thing, I'd say those are the 2 prongs of my life. My father, doing the right thing, do the right thing. My mother, sprinkle it with kindness. Right. I think when you blend those 2 things and you love what you do and you are so motivated and driven to have people try something that is going to have such an impact.
The children's book I have,
Yes.
In Search of the Magic Tree, I have a copy for you. It's called The Adventures of Little Billy in Search of the Magic Tree. And I've taken 14 books I've written and put it down into 5 key secrets. And the one secret that Rupert the Toad said was empathy, having empathy for others.
It's lacking now. It's crazy. It's lacking. It's really, and I think it's because people go through so much kind of disdain in life and in the world now, we cannot lose our empathy. That must stay intact.
So I really would like to know more about this. You talked about, it nourishes the skin, better sleep. It's loaded with minerals. I have all these notes. It thickens your hair, the gut health, fight inflammation, joint health. Joint health.
Yeah, joint health. It's a number one symptom that people go to a doctor about. It's joint health. This feeds and nourishes your joints. It lubricates your joints. The natural chondroitin in there, and it just makes such a difference. It's lubrication for the entire body. If you're on GLP-1s, anyone out there listening, this is such a good source of digestive health to keep things moving, which is an issue, and for protein goals. It's so important. If somebody out there is saying, you know what, my hair is starting to thin and all of these perimenopausal and menopausal and postmenopausal problems, I sit back and I listen to these doctors and I say, talk about bone broth. Talk about what bone broth does for that, because it helps to self-regulate the body and the system by providing this deep cellular nutrition. This is ancestral, back in the day, tried and true, still around, health and healing restoration. And what I always say is, this can resurrect you. Like, that's how powerful this is. And I hear all the time, Dr. Kellyann, you look good, you look good, you look good. I'm not doing anything fancy, guys. I don't do all the things that you may think that I do. What I do is at night, I don't want to wake up feeling bloated. So you know what I do? I take a big pot of soup, I put some hot water in there, and I throw in a couple of packets. This is how easy it is, because I work a lot. And I have a lot of stress, and I'm not going to deny that. But there's ways to be combative against that.
Right.
I take a couple packets, I mix it up, I get it nice and fiery, then I throw whatever I have in my kitchen. Depending on if I'm having Greek lemon, I'll add some chicken in there, I'll add some rice in there. Depending on what flavor that I have. I throw in all kinds of things it's just a one-pot meal. It's simple, easy, reduces stress, and you don't wake up feeling bloated. It doesn't keep you up at night because it's not hard on the digestive system. And when you have this over time, you start noticing things like, wow, my skin looks better. The diameter of my hair, because of the collagen, it's starting to change. My joints, you don't even remember some of the health issues you had before you started using this. And for anyone who just wants to really start churning up your body in a way that's really pushing the compost button, do intermittent fasting with bone broth. Give your body the chance to heal and let this go in and do the magic while it's healing. So your body is resting, it's healing. This goes in, bam, 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 it starts remodeling. You want to remodel the body. That's longevity. And there's so many natural ways to do that, which has always been my job.
Well, let's talk about some other ways too, because I got it. I see the whole, there's a lot that people need to explore this in great detail to understand the benefits, because I did, and I saw your research, your 2 million satisfied customers says a lot. Let food be thy medicine, okay? Not medicine be the food. And I went through major things, not time enough here to talk about what doctors told me to do, all different specialists, doctors, where I did my own research. My own doctor uses me as an example now because I do believe it's a sacrifice. It really is. It's not a quick pill and not a quick fix. You really have to sacrifice to get your body to really change over time, because a pill can change like this, maybe, the pain.
They're never meant to heal.
Exactly.
That is the thing about, I want everyone to understand, you cannot pharma your way out of a situation. So I want everyone to understand the paradigm here. Modern medicine, with all due respect to the many great doctors that I've seen in NICU units, that I've seen in ICU, unbelievable doctors.
Yes.
But there is a place for it, and you have to understand that, because pharma is meant to patch you up. It is not meant to heal you. Does everyone understand that? It is not meant to heal you. There's a very, very distinct and big difference. So if you want your body to be in a constant state of healing, and you want it to do what it wants to do, which is cellular turnover and regeneration, that makes you young and healthy and vibrant and all of those things, then you better understand this. And you better have ways to put that into your body naturally, because pharma ain't it.
Cell structure. How long does it take for your body to change? Like, let's say
7 years for your entire body to change. Okay, to really completely refurbish, remodel, change everything, every structure, function in your body, even your liver starts to regenerate, your nervous system can start to regenerate, your intestinal cellular line that usually starts to regenerate in about 21 days, which is why I call it the 21-day bone broth diet.
Right.
Hence, please give yourself a little time to rest with intermittent fasting, give your body the raw materials that it needs, and then watch. Then watch and start trusting your body. Don't give up on your body.
Well, so a lot of people give up because it's a challenge. You know what the challenge is? It's change, and they get frustrated because they go through a little withdrawals, whether it's sugar or the way they're eating or it's something else, and it's hard for people. So what are some simple, quick things that people can do? Because that's what I loved about your book and your messaging, is it gave simple things to do that don't overwhelm you right away, that you can start right away.
Compliancy is the issue in medicine and in nutrition and in health and healing, longevity, all of it is compliancy. So how do you start to turn the body over and understand regeneration, the power behind it, not look to pharma or surgery, but understand this? The best way to do that is, number one, understand the body. Okay, and everyone's learning that. We're consuming so much information. I used to spend half of my time convincing. I no longer have to do that. People are really getting this. My suggestion would be to do one thing. One thing. Focus on one change and attach that one change to a habit.
Right.
So say there's something, so maybe you have coffee at 3 p.m. and you say, I want to add bone broth into my life because I don't want to get that slump in the afternoon. I want to start working on that slump. That's number one. So if you have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or whatever you have at 3 o'clock, attach that onto a habit that you normally have and replace it with bone broth.
Okay, easy step one.
Step one. So I say, here's something really easy. Just make this kind of your mantra. I'm going to add 2 cups of bone broth. I'm not going to take anything away. I'm not going to make it hard. I am going to simply have a mug, open up a packet, throw some hot water in there and stir it. I'm going to do that twice a day. There is my number one thing that I'm going to do, because you know what's going to happen when you do that? Little day, chink, chink, chink. Things start to change. Things start to turn over as your body's getting that nutrition that it needs, because you'll have to understand the nutritional hierarchy. I can usually tell somewhat the state of health somebody's in by what I call the lasts. What are the lasts? The lasts are the things like your hair, your nails, things where nutrition get skin. So your body has a job, and that is to keep your organs vital, in working order and healthy. So when you take nutrition in, it gives it to the high level things first. So your skin, hair, nails, all that's considered second level. So I always know the state of somebody's nutritional health by that hierarchy. So what I say is, start with 2 cups of bone broth a day. Just do that.
Okay,
and if
that's the one thing they can do.
And if you want to throw in some intermittent fasting with it, 1 or 2 days a week, you know, the 16-8 thing I said, we're just
I do that.
Pick
Great.
8 hours.
Yep.
Just pick 8 hours,
Give
guys.
your body
I
a
don't care
rest,
what it is.
internal organs.
The rest is, and so if you are not metabolically flexible, that means that maybe your gut health, your blood sugar, your inflammatory markers, maybe they're not right yet. Okay, you're working on that. Those are the 3 prongs that I feel that are the most important. So maybe you don't have metabolic flexibility and you're trying to eat within an 8-hour time frame, but the other 16 hours you are white knuckling it. Here's what you do. You just have a cup of bone broth, because what are you getting in this? Do you understand what you're getting in bone broth? You're getting barely any calories. You're getting 70 grams of calories. You're getting 0 grams of carbs. You're not getting excess of anything. There's no sugar in here. You're basically getting protein, minerals, electrolytes, amino acids.
Collagen.
That's what you're getting. The collagen. That's what you're getting in here. You're not getting the extra stuff.
So when we come back from the break, what I want to do is go into other options. This is a great first option, okay? Then other options that we can choose from about what we're eating, how we move, how we think, which people say, what do you mean what you think? Thinking, the brain, it all starts right up here in the mind. Everything starts here. So you've said some great things about that. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how we eat, how we move, and especially how we think, because the mind is where it all starts. We'll be right back. This is Pain for Gain. I'm Barry Farber, and we'll be right back with Dr. Kellyann. Don't go away. I'm a very big believer in Dr. Kellyann, and I have a very special offer for all of you watching from Dr. Kellyann to join her 2 million satisfied customers enjoying the amazing health benefits of her bone broth. When you visit drkellyann.com, use the promo code Barry15, that's Barry15, and get 15% off your entire purchase. Her website features healthy lifestyle blogs, recipes for protein-rich, collagen-packed bone broth meals, and other natural products based on her personal journey and extensive research. Visit drkellyann.com and use promo code Barry15 for 15% off your entire purchase. Hi, I'm Barry Farber, and I'm excited to bring you The Adventures of Little Billy in Search of the Magic Tree. In a moment, you're going to see an animated series that was created from interviews with thousands of high achievers in sports, science, business, finance, inventing, brain surgeons to billionaires, sports legends to entertainers, talking about what are the 5 elements that are condensed into having a successful life at an early age. What I wanted for every grandparent and parent to have for their kids is a foundation of those principles put into this animated series you're about to see. And I'm also excited for the special edition hardcover copy of The Adventures of Little Billy in Search of the Magic Tree that just came out. For more information on the adventure, you could scan the code below. How did this animated series start? I was actually carving Lawrence the Owl, one of the characters in the story, in my front yard. And as I'm carving, something popped in my mind. It said, you got to come up with an animated series so kids can get closer to the animals and understand the elements and principles of what the keys to success are. Scan the code below and learn more about that adventure. Welcome back. I'm Barry Farber, and this is Pain for Gain, and we're with Dr. Kellyann. And before we talk to her in a second, I want to just mention a quote that I think that she lives by every day. And it was an old quote I remember. I think it was Theophilus or a Greek or Roman, one of those old quotes. But it said, the secret to happiness is freedom. And the secret to freedom is courage. And courage takes time to change and be able to deal with things, and when you're going through stress and all these things and you're not healthy, you're not fit body, you're not fit in the mind, you're going to crumble.
You can't take care of yourself when the stuff hits the fan. You got to be ready. You got to be ready at all times, ready to go into battle. And I hate to sound so extreme, but when you're an entrepreneur, I mean that very, very poignantly. You need to be ready for the battle at all times, and the biggest asset you can have is yourself.
Yep.
And not only a sense of self, but being extremely healthy.
Right. My sensei in martial arts says, train for war, pray for peace.
I love it.
And
how appropriate is that?
You want peace all the time, but you have to be ready. And the same with the body. So you left off with bone broth, and I think it's a real simple, easy thing to do, is the one thing people can do. But talk about the 3 foods that you think are critical for people to really embrace and make sure are part of their lives. What are they?
Yeah, first is ancestral foods, and this is not me saying this. This is the New England Journal of Medicine, talking way back, which had a big impact on my career and how I felt the courage to talk about the kind of eating and the kind of foods that I did before anybody else did. So I love ancestral foods. What is that? That is the collagen, the bone marrow, the gelatin, all of these things that are ancestral and really do a lot in helping your body stimulate its own stem cells and heal the gut and heal the joints, all of these things. So somehow sticking some kind of ancestral nutrition, gelatin, bone marrow, collagen, bone broth, one of the ancestral longevity whirlwinds, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, fermented foods. We need to make sure that our whole microbiome is very well populated. And you have all kinds of healthy bacteria in your gut, all kind. And so the name of the game is to have all different kinds of bacteria working for you, not against you, to have the good stuff, not overrun by the bad. We know this. One of the best ways that you can throw fertilizer on all of that to make sure that you've got the density of that healthy growth is through fermented foods. And so what I tell people is pick one that you like, because not everybody likes this stuff. Right. So let's talk about which ones they are. The most popular is yogurt. You want to get a really well-cultured, low in sugar, full-fat yogurt. Number one. Number two, you can get something like kimchi. Kimchi is just easy. You crack that open and have a tablespoon in the morning with your eggs, for example. Another one is pickles, but it's very important that these are actually fermented pickles. How do you know that? A lot of times the fermented ones, and this isn't always the rule, but they're in the refrigerator section and not on a shelf, because you want brine. They have to be made with brine and not just salt.
And what does that do cellularly? Like your body, what's happening? And I was going to say sauerkraut too?
Yeah, and that was the next one I was going to say. No, that's okay. Sauerkraut, and another one is, kombucha. The kids now call it booch. Can be high in sugar, so you've got to be careful. But they even have bars where they have like the kombucha on, like on brew. So it's become very popular. But just pick one that you like, because this fermentation process, as you asked, goes in there and deeply, deeply heals the wrongdoing of a lot of us that we have by fermented foods. So we have by foods that are, a lot of times we eat foods and they ferment in the body and not in a good way. There's fermented foods that are made the way a lot of these probiotic foods and prebiotic foods are. And then there's fermentation, which means that you're not properly digesting your foods, which is very, very common. That's why people have a lot of digestive issues. They're not completely digesting their food. It screws up their microbiome, and you need something to go in there on a regular basis and heal it. So choose one fermented food. So these ancestral longevity foods, number one. Number two are these fermented foods, and I would say the third would be fatty foods.
Like
things like sardines, anchovies. Olives are great. I snack on olives all the time. Yes. Avocado is another beautiful thing that you can snack on that gives you these healthy fat. And then you want to stay away from those seed oils. We've learned a lot about that in the last 2 years. But in my house, I have tallow, I have ghee, I have coconut, and I use olive oil, and I use the kind of olive oil that you can make sure that you heat at a high temperature. And I have butter from grass-fed cows. So I have very healthy fats, and I think one of the things that saved me in my own personal health is that I have been doing this, because this is everything I'm telling you, this is the cornerstone of paleo nutrition, I've studied this so many years, and because I've been applying that to my life, I think now, at my age, it's now paying off.
So something that you just reminded me of, sometimes you hear things that you can use every day, and I like acronyms. And I remember hearing somebody say G-bombs, for greens. It's an acronym for G-bombs. Greens, make sure you have a lot of greens, all kinds of colors. B for berries, all different colored berries.
So good for you. Yep. So good for you.
Onions, mushrooms.
Prebiotic. Yep, that's for great for all of those compounds in there for immune system.
Right, and then, so it's greens.
Fiber and antioxidants and polyphenols in the berries. And then,
so beans.
Beans, so you're talking about beans, you're talking about a source of fiber. Right. A really high-powered, source of fiber that helps cleanse you and not clog you. Right. So I think, that's the thing. And for beans, some people are great with beans. Some people need a smaller amount of beans, but studies are showing that they're helpful.
Right, and then seeds were the last one.
Seeds are good.
Pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds.
So everybody has a certain level of parasitic properties in their body. Very, very normal. That's just living, again, in the modern day world. Pumpkin seeds are the great destroyers of all of these parasites that a lot of us are interfaced with, and we don't even know it.
And you have a love of a dog, I see. You have your dog.
Oh, where's
Harry.
my Harry?
My Harry's been so good.
Harry's my Cavalier. He's only 7 months. I love my Harry. You
But,
got to
but, you,
have it.
but
It's
let me ask you,
oxytocin.
so this is the healthiest probably dog on the planet you have. But I heard that if I took pumpkin seeds and you crush them up into
Yeah,
powder
yeah.
and twice a week sprinkle on their food, and that does what the parasites, what you just said, right?
It's very, very healthy for dogs. Pumpkin seeds, all of that. A lot of people put a little pumpkin. Blueberries are great for dogs. I could talk forever, but you know,
I know you can. You're amazing. By the way, we're going to have another show someday, but let me say this. Movement. You know, your Tai Chi, your fitness instructor. I mean, you did so many different things. What are some key things people need to understand about movement?
So we're talking about most women that I see will talk about perimenopause, menopause, and really everybody as a whole. It's good to lift heavy things. So let me just say what people are learning and what a lot of people know. Lift heavy things. So maybe 3 times a week, maybe 4 if you can. You want to lift weights. I do. Right. I never miss that. It's like my highest. And then you want to do like zone 2 cardio with zone 5 cardio. What does that mean? Those long walks.
Great, healthy.
You got to do the long walks, and then maybe twice a week, just do something to get your heart rate up. So you want to do maybe 4 bursts. So if you do something, it's almost like a sprint. So that's kind of the program. If you're
that's
looking
awesome,
to be
right
fit,
there.
To be healthy. But here's what I also recommend. So this is the missing point in health and healing that I always add into my exercise. Circulation and lymphatics are absolutely critical and crucial. So this whole Qigong, Tai Chi, all of those kind of movements, they're so good for that. But what I say, look up something called the Big 5. This is a really quick lymphatic work that you can do to get your lymphatics doing. I put that into my workout. It takes 2 minutes. I'm doing my workout as I'm doing this, and I bounce. I bounce a lot, and I move my body, move my hands and my neck, and that's what gets you in the good vibration, because our cells have a megahertz. They actually have a vibrational, a volume to them. And so how you express yourself to the world, you become one of those people that just have such presence. You either have to be 6 feet tall, or you have to do what I'm telling you. And I'm not 6 feet tall. So this is what I do.
That's great stuff. And by the way, in Aikido, it's a big part of the warm-up is what you just did almost, the movement, the bouncing.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, as kind of like the show's coming to a close here, what is your definition of success today?
Well, it used to be, I wanted everyone to see how successful I was. I wanted them to say, look, I just came out with this product. Look, I did this. Did you see me? I was on that show. And I look back at some of my texts, like from back in the day, I'm like, oh, Kellyann. You know, I had to have a bell around my neck. And here's what's different. I don't feel any of that anymore. What I want to work on, success to me, is having autonomic nervous system regulation down pat.
Health as well.
What is that? It's just complete. Your book hits #1 on the New York Times. Here's me. Your product hits, it's got a bestseller badge. It's going gangbusters. Here's me. Oh, that was a clunker. Boy, that one bombed. Here's me. So to me, success is to be able to keep extremely regulated no matter what is before me.
Adversity or success, doesn't matter.
That's it.
Yep. That's an excellent, that's one of the best ones I've heard.
Thank you.
Yep.
And it's a conscious decision. I consciously worked on what pattern do I want to change in myself. As time goes on, I'm always thinking about this. What pattern do I need to change? What do I need to be aware of? And for me, it's emotional regulation, because life, bam, you're catching knives. Boom, boom. I used to let them land on my back, but now I catch them.
Well, let me tell you something. You packed it with so much information. I really enjoyed myself. I got a lot out of it. I got a lot out of your books. Your bone broth tastes great. It's easy to make. You're amazing. Thank you so much for making the trip out here. I really appreciate it. Really
I'll do anything for you and bone broth.
Okay, I'll remember that. And Kellyann, thank you very much. Dr. Kellyann, look her up. Check her out on the website, on Google, everything. She's all over the place. Thank you for joining us. I'm Barry Farber. You have been seeing and watching Pain for Gain, which means you cannot have pleasure without sacrifice. So embrace that pain out there, everyone. I'll see you next time. Take care.